My name is Michael, and until recently, I believed my life was nearly perfect. I had a successful business, a beautiful home, and a family I loved more than anything. My wife Sarah and I had been married for 13 years, and together we were raising our son Ethan. Like many families, we had disagreements, but I never imagined those disagreements would eventually lead to a courtroom battle that nearly destroyed my entire future. Everything changed one cold Monday morning when I received divorce papers. At first, I assumed Sarah simply wanted to end our marriage. Although painful, I was willing to handle the situation respectfully. But when I opened the documents, I felt my heart sink. Sarah accused me of hiding money, controlling family finances, and emotionally manipulating her for years. She demanded most of our assets and requested full custody of Ethan. The accusations were shocking because they were completely false. Yet she seemed incredibly confident that the court would believe every word. Over the following months, my reputation began falling apart. Friends who had known me for years suddenly became distant. Some relatives stopped returning my calls. Sarah presented herself as a victim and gained sympathy from almost everyone who heard her story. Meanwhile, I spent countless nights gathering records, receipts, and documents trying to prove my innocence. No matter how much evidence I collected, it felt like I was losing ground every day. One evening, while I was reviewing paperwork at the kitchen table, Ethan sat beside me. He looked worried and unusually quiet. After several minutes, he finally asked whether the court could take him away from me. Hearing those words broke my heart. I reassured him that I would never stop fighting for him. Before leaving the room, he told me something strange. He said he had overheard conversations between his mother and someone he did not recognize. At the time, I did not think much about it, but those words would soon become incredibly important. A week before the final hearing, Ethan discovered an old laptop stored in a closet. While searching through family photos, he accidentally found several video files that had been automatically saved years earlier. Most of them were ordinary family memories. Then he opened one video that immediately caught his attention. The recording showed Sarah sitting in a restaurant with another man. At first their conversation seemed harmless, but within minutes Ethan realized he was hearing something shocking. Sarah openly discussed a future divorce and described a plan to make accusations that would help her take control of most of our assets. She laughed while saying that nobody would ever suspect her true intentions. When Ethan showed me the recording, I could hardly believe what I was watching. The woman in that video was completely different from the person standing in court claiming to be a victim. My attorney immediately examined the footage and realized it could change everything. To verify the information, we hired a private investigator. What the investigator discovered was even worse. Hidden financial accounts, secret transactions, and communications that directly contradicted Sarah's testimony began surfacing one after another. The day of the final hearing finally arrived. The courtroom was crowded, and tension filled the air. Sarah entered confidently and smiled throughout much of the proceeding. Her attorney repeated every accusation against me and argued that I should lose a substantial portion of my assets. Listening to those claims was frustrating, but my lawyer remained calm. He knew something Sarah did not. We finally possessed evidence capable of exposing the truth. After several hours of testimony, my attorney requested permission to present newly discovered evidence. The judge agreed. First came financial records gathered by the investigator. Then witness statements were introduced. Sarah's confidence began fading. Finally, my lawyer asked for the courtroom screen to be activated. The video started playing. Within seconds, the room became completely silent. Every person in the courtroom watched Sarah discuss her plans years before the divorce ever happened. Her own words exposed everything. The judge listened carefully while taking notes. Jurors exchanged shocked looks. Sarah's attorney appeared stunned. As the recording continued, the case against me completely unraveled. Sarah attempted to explain the video, but every explanation created more contradictions. The evidence was simply too strong. Months of deception collapsed in front of everyone. The woman who believed she had complete control of the situation suddenly found herself unable to answer basic questions from the judge. When the hearing ended, the judge delivered a decision that shocked many people in attendance. Sarah's major claims were rejected because the evidence proved serious credibility problems. The court protected my parental rights and dismissed several accusations that had formed the foundation of her case. After months of stress and uncertainty, the truth had finally won. Outside the courthouse, reporters discussed the dramatic outcome. Sarah left quickly without speaking to anyone. Ethan and I stood near the courthouse steps watching people walk by. For the first time in nearly a year, I felt a sense of peace. My son looked up at me and smiled. Then he said something I will never forget. The truth always finds a way out. At that moment, I realized he was right. The woman who tried to destroy my future was ultimately defeated by her own actions. She spent years building a lie and only a few minutes watching it collapse. That day taught me a lesson more valuable than money. Real revenge is not hurting someone who hurt you. Real revenge is allowing the truth to reveal itself. And sometimes the smallest voice in the room becomes the one that changes everything. Ending: lies may win attention for a while, but truth wins in the end. Sarah lost because she underestimated honesty. Michael won because he never stopped fighting for the truth. And the real hero of the story was a brave young son who refused to stay silent.